Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 8.52. We're playing as Britain, of course. Let's continue here. Get the clock rolling. We are getting ready. We've got the invasion fleet here, and we're going to go in and invade the Shetlands. One more time, but with a lot more units, including some CAG. Marines. We've been sinking their convoys as they've been trying to run them through to supply up here. And we've got another convoy ready to go of a lot of units, including some CAG again, that we're going to, let's see, first we're going to send them way out to here. Can we get out to there? No. We'll get it out to here. Okay, I just sort of want to get them away from the German air as quickly as possible. Okay. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. I hope that's okay. Get through there. I've also launched all my aircraft up just about again on interception duty. Major victory. Where is that? Oh, up here. Okay. Let's retreat a bit. Back up to here. Oh, we're looking like we're doing much better now. Left the two headquarters at home, but I think they're close enough, and hopefully their command bonuses are coming through right, but I don't know for sure. I just didn't want these guys to be cruising through the Bay of Biscay on their way to the south. These guys I'm talking about here. Let's get them out. Maybe we could have sent them north around Ireland, but okay, now head for Cape Town. Be based temporarily, just a bit around Mediterranean, using the liners because they're reasonably fast. Let's see, I really haven't prepared, and probably should have prepared. We can reach from here. Bombing. Some of the other units as well. Let's see if we can. Yeah, we're starting to take some losses. These guys, we'll send them up. Yeah, there's some facing space there. back. We've got lots of units. Let's get bombing going. How's my air campaign going? Fairly well, it looks like. No one's getting chewed up yet. Germans are slowly moving into the Soviet Union and slowly crushing Greece. Well, maybe we're back to just being the Italians. Twin engineer for research. That's nice. Completed. Okay. We'll armament. See if there's any. No, nothing we want to do at the moment. No. Got these guys, and they got coastal battleships, which do suppose, at least they should help with fire support when doing landings. And they're at 17 speed, and I think we've got a couple of liners here which are at 18. We're going to put those together. So we don't want to move too slow. No, I messed that up, didn't I? That's mostly, or we're doing that to be able to get them, escort them to the, well, at least to Africa and probably beyond. Get these guys going there. Got some support units that could use some proper infantry. Okay, well that would be nice. Let's see how far out we move these guys. Yep. Move order here. Just get them out there. Okay, how we do it? On mud clear. Okay. Don't know why they're not bringing in some of these other units. I want to take the 9th. Flying for the moment. I'm not attached to headquarters. Well, we got some back in. Hopefully not. That one good. Okay, small ship has advanced. That's good. into the deficit, that's fine. Marines and mountain troops may make a difference, but I don't know. And send these guys to South Africa. Now, these old coastal battleships could be anything from, and I don't know, these are like mostly Dutch, but potentially pre-dreadnought or early dreadnought type days, and many of them, I'm just talking about the general class of them, still had decent guns on them. They might not have great range, just because gunnery improved, but it could still pack a pretty big punch. But some of their weaknesses were, and one of them was, well, two of them are quite correctable. One being radar type improvements that can be hung on to old ships without too much work. And the other, of course, combined arms, is mounting anti-aircraft guns to, of course, make the ships a bit more protected from the air, because, you know, pre-flight period ships, or even early flight period ships, weren't that concerned about air attacks. So those could be corrected and quite useful, and could be used as convoy escorts, like we're doing, you know, a bunch of anti-aircraft guns and that type of thing. But they were very vulnerable to things just like destroyers. Sure, if they could hit a destroyer, now destroyers are very maneuverable, and so they can change their direction, you know, their heading and their speed, and that type of stuff, to make them, at the longer ranges of their heavy guns, quite hard to hit. Okay, well, we're not really doing much good here, are we? So, make them hard to hit, like I was saying. But if they could get in close enough, which generally I'm thinking maybe not just one would, but a bunch would, that are fairly cheap vessels. And then this also includes light cruisers particularly as well. They can get in close and launch a lot of torpedoes that they would be carrying at them. And a lot of those early dreadnought types had, we're going to stop this, little or no subsurface protection, you know, the armor, and yeah, major defeat. Okay. Now we're gonna go back to here and think about this some more. Rebase. So that those torpedoes could just, you know, kick the guts right out of the ships. These guys, the small warfare type vessels. Well, okay, do that. Where their, you know, destroyer and light cruiser deck guns could you know, hardly damaged them at all. So that they were quite vulnerable to those kinds of things. But, you know, if you've been listening to my series, you know I don't believe hardly any weapon is useless. So use them like we are as a escort element. Use them as a fire support element for landing. Those kind of roles, and just pair them with destroyers and light cruisers that can engage the light cruisers coming into, you know, light attack forces coming in at them. Be the screen. Now, of course, in case you think I'm being silly, I'm not suggesting continuing to produce them. See, it's much more the idea, at least in my mind, is if you got them, use them. Update them, you know, like I was saying earlier, put on aircraft, you know, any aircraft guns, radars, and those kinds of things. So do your upgrades, your updates. But of course, stop producing it. It's not the idea that you got to keep producing out-of-date weapon systems. Okay, it looks like we've now won the air war over Britain. I don't know if we're going to try to take it to Germany at this point, or just simply fly them a bunch of the aircraft that we're making new to other theaters. And hopefully, let's see what we're doing here. Okay, we're still running convoys there. We are sinking some of Germany's convoys here. 3, 1, so we're still trying to trade with somebody way out somewhere, but so I guess we sort of have them trapped there. I don't like the idea of, yeah, you're going to take some provinces back. We know that, but we've got these guys here. Snowfall increases. Well, that'll help us through the winter. We'll hold out there. It's not the time to attack anymore. Yeah, we're losing. Okay, well, do we have any air bases here? No, we should have some air bases. Don't know when they were built. We want some air bases. Looks like I can put them out there and do naval strikes. 8th Army! Okay, the 8th Army was one of the best known formations in the British Army during World War II, fighting in North Africa and the Italian campaigns. It was a British formation always commanded by British officers. However, its personnel came from throughout the British Empire and Commonwealth. Yes, sir. 8th Army forms in Romani. Put it back there. Ooh, wow. Set up to have Montgomery as commander, so we'll do that. He was the battle commander, so he's up here. I don't want to completely, and of course he's been used a lot, so he's powered up. We'll give Akalek. Promoted. Middle East Command, I guess. We'll send them up to the line here. That's good. An armored brigade, battle commander, mechanized infantry. So that's a decent fighting division. Nothing else. Yeah, let's see. We have 3 divisions here, all with officers. And they can't all fit on board. 2 of them can. Okay, I think we're going to send them out over here. Let's transport. Hopefully those will be... Got this down here with the forts that... Thank you. The Indian Brigade, the Australian Division, the Indian Division here. A little bit more. Okay, Germany has annexed Greece. Okay. Knew that was coming. W force shattered. Where is W force? Where is W force? I don't know. Wasn't part of what was going on up here. HQ. Were we using it to attack somewhere in here and it got... What was that? We were using it to kill some of the partisans? I don't know. Oh well. We're driving them into the desert. Die. Okay, we're going to move a militia unit there. One break. Some of the other Eritrean Ascaris. Okay, let's send these. Yeah, very good. Someone up here getting ready for our operations. We're gonna, unlike my campaigns, we're gonna keep Germany and Italy contained here in the Mediterranean. We have taken out, of course, Malta, but we're gonna keep it in Cyprus. Has our ships moved here yet? I didn't think so, but let's check them. Now I gotta ask, sorry, I remember you guys asking and I recognize you when you say things, but I do forget various screen names. I'm going to hopefully, hope that Australia can deal with itself and fight the Japanese here in this part of the Pacific here. As you, okay, Yugoslavia, they've annexed that now. Lovely. Not let, been a few opportunities to let Vichy in, but I want them to be either neutral or part of the Axis, and that way Vichy, or that way I believe the scripted events which will have the US making the torch landings down here will happen, because that's what I want to have happen, to get them involved. And I'm hoping Canada will join in on some of that here in the Atlantic. Okay, basing advance. That would be here. Okay, well, I think we're just going to end that for the moment. Okay, Bank of International Settlement. Yes, that'll give us more leadership, I think. Other good things. Not really sure what to do about and how much to even worry about. The Shetlands, I want to take them back. That's what I want to do. It's not what I feel like gotta do, but I want to take them back. Well, they're chewed up a lot more, so maybe it's just the question of more bombing. Okay, let them heal up. Well, they've healed up, so somewhat at least. I don't think they have any aircraft or any aircraft other than the anti-aircraft inherent in the divisions. against these guys as well. Okay, Tora. Japan has attacked the United States. So, Blitzkrieg Doctrine. That, of course, brings good stuff for us by getting the U.S. here pretty soon into this fight, hopefully. Let's see, how up to date is our army? I want to get these guys going. I think we're mostly waiting on that. Artillery tech equipment. Okay, let's see. That's all pretty up to date as well. Guess we've got some leadership, so we're doing good on officers. Well, we're doing so good on officers. We're going to reduce our officer recruitment here considerably. We may do more soon, but that'll give us even more leadership, a bunch more leadership to do stuff, which is good. Those radio techs will help a lot. Let's improve our production. It's a little in advance, but not that in advance of time. There we go. We've got a lot of convoys coming, and a pretty big cushion for our losses. There they are, they're on, so. Okay, we're driving into there. Day of infamy, great. New industrial zones, very good, very good. Improve our industry. All very good. Obviously it takes out some of our resources, but I think it's definitely a benefit over the overall. And of course I've noticed the new triangle from the USA. Invite to faction, very likely. Very good. Great. So now we have the Americans. The Americans. I have trouble doing a fake American accent. But now we can see all these units all over America. The AI will hopefully be smart and use well. We can only hope. Or hope that the Black Ice team will. Some of their great events. Okay. Mid-late war historical allies. Yes, alright. Mid-late war historical allies have happened to us. That is one of these effects. So revolt risk down. National manpower up considerably. ICs by 2%. 9% crude oil, 8% energy, 8% metal, 3% resources supply plus 8%, money plus 4%, leadership modifier plus 13%, territorial pride up 5%, espionage bonus 4%, recruit time plus 2%, or down 2% actually, I guess, ruling party support plus 2%, research efficiency up 4%, IC efficiency for production up 4%, supply throughput 2%, and 13% officer recruitment. Yes, I agree with all those stats as a general rule. Now, of course, when I say agree with all those stats, I agree that those all should be a bonus, a bonus. But should territorial pride be 5%, or should it be 3%, or should it be 8%? God, I don't know. These are all wild-ass guesses, and I think Panzeroo and crew would admit that, too, that they're just, how do we measure these metrics? We know that the U.S. poured all kinds of resources and support. Unlike Hearts of Iron 4, we don't make equipment, but even there, we'll talk very, very shortly, or we will have already started talking, I think, by the time this is out, about some of those mechanics. Not maybe all that they could or should be, but definitely some. So the idea that, because in this game, obviously, we're still playing with units, but research bonuses, there was a lot of that back and forth. British helping out with some of their areas that they were advanced with, like radar, giving their technology over to the U.S., and then the U.S. was running on it, improving it, making it smaller, more efficient, and all those kinds of things, really moving up forward. Okay, well, this is a good point to end this episode, that the Americans are into the war, so that'll be changing things slightly early. Again, we'll be talking very shortly, or I've already started talking about Hearts of Iron 4 and their ahistorical elements. I don't mind that this is happening in November 9th, 1941, that it's scripted. I know I said we were going to end this here, but we haven't. And I'll have a lot to say on the other thing. But we're dealing with, sure, a scripted thing, but we're looking at conditions. Japan doing very well, but still in some sort of situation with China. Obviously able to occupy, France has been defeated, and they were able to occupy excuse me, Indochina unopposed, and other things that, with also presumably, I don't know exactly because we haven't been playing America, various embargoes that the Americans were putting on Japan because of the China situation, that really, with the Americans sitting here as functional American colony, that's what the Philippines were at the time, in the way to between the resources that they needed here that they planned on taking. So that under these conditions that are set up, hey, plus minus a few months, so long as the conditions are on a historical framework, to me that is much more important now than a specific date. Now obviously I'm trying to send some troops in here. The first ship is on the way here, and don't know, we may get these guys over here next instead, but so that, as opposed to events happening a bit more freeform, even when you're on the supposed historical path, that you go, oh well, this is not, this isn't, we were being a little more dynamic, but okay, like I say, dynamic is fine so long as it's conditional based, meaning to have Japan decide to declare war against the Netherlands because it needs these resources down here, if the Netherlands still were occupying this, whatever the date is, whether it's at the historical date, which is basically now, of December 7th, 8th, 9th, whatever, that they sort of were starting to move into here. The very first one, of course,
and also 8th, 9th. Japan attacked Pearl Harbor on December 8th, not 7th. December 8th in Japan. 7th, obviously, it was still this side of the dateline in Hawaii, and 7th for the U.S., but with that international dateline, it was on the 8th for them. So that's something confused there. It's, that isn't what, in my opinion, is so important to get right in a game like this. I mean, it's part of it, not exactly the primary thing, but the secondary thing is the date is the conditions. To have them declare war against the Netherlands when maybe Germany's at peace with the world and France and Britain are basically at peace with the world and would immediately come to the Dutch aid here, Japan wouldn't do that. They just wouldn't do that. So it takes these conditions for things to happen. So if you want to go, oh, well, Germany started the war 2 years early and defeated France, and Britain was alone, and America looked isolationist. Okay, then yes, have, the move into the Indonesia with its attack against the American fleet, and the Philippines 2 years early. That part is fine so long as the conditions are right. They don't. Now, Black Ice, which is working off of the Hearts of Iron 3 engine, is a bit more scripted, both the Hearts of Iron 3 engine and Black Ice, because they are working very hard to make it both historical as well as plausible, dealing with all of this here. And so that's their way of working around it. They don't have some of the national focuses and set up for conditions. And I'm realizing that this is going to be after the release, but I'm still being very cautious what I'm saying when I'm actually making this. And some of these things are national focus oriented, that the national focus should be to be able to start, if you will, researching or focusing on the national focus, however you want to, whatever the language develops for it, may need to be a bit more conditional based. Like you can only do some of the southern declare war on stuff when certain conditions are met. Germany controls or Axis controls certain provinces or whatever it may be. Then then it's fine that it happens early, happens late, because what if or the AI this time decided, oh, we're not starting the war until 42. Okay, for Germany, and so things would be different. Well, okay, gone on far enough, long enough. So see you next time. There might be a bit of a hiatus. There might not, for some Hearts of Iron 4 stuff. We're going to see how all this goes. Definitely, I'm going to produce a lot of Hearts of Iron 4 stuff. I do plan on making more of these episodes, and like I've said, if they continue to have a good audience, I'll keep it up, because I'm enjoying it as part of it. But if nobody stops watching it and I got too busy doing other things, well, then that's what I'll do. But so see you next time.